Alright, what's going on you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. JOTA, and today, as you know, is the day before to the last game against Celtic de Glasgow, the last game of the group stage of the Champions. Of course, we are going to run ahead to win the 15th champion. That'll be the 15th, so that'll be great. I mean, I don't know if we are going to get it, man, but we are so excited to qualify, and the only thing we have to wait for is to see if that is going to be in the 16th round. That is going to be whether the first ones or the second ones. In my opinion, we're going to be the first ones, right, in the group stage, so that'll be, in my opinion, way better for us, considering we would be facing the second one of another group, which is kind of better and easier and all this stuff. And but the first thing we have to do is to win the Celtic de Glasgow. But that is not going to be the first news I have for you guys, because today I have to start off talking about Carlo Ancelotti and the potential suspension he's facing off just because of these words. It was basically saying the penalty against Girona the other day, and I've been talking a lot about this in my Spanish channel. The penalty kick the other day against Girona, it was not a penalty. Like I said, the ball hit the chest of Marco Asensio, and here Carlo Ancelotti basically said, no, it wasn't a penalty, it was even a little penalty, so there was no point in whistling the penalty when everybody knew it wasn't, right? Well, for these words, Carlo Ancelotti might be suspended 4 through the 12 games, okay? 4 to 12 games might be the suspension for Carlo Ancelotti. If you think about it, the other day in El Clásico, when Joan Laporta came downstairs to visit the locker room of the referee to, in my opinion, harass him and pressing him and push him to whistle whatever he wanted to whistle, okay? It was only 150 euros of fine. I mean, what is the point of that? Where is the equality? Where is the proportion? You know what I'm saying? So if Carlo Ancelotti says, no, it wasn't a penalty, just an opinion, right? An opinion about it. No, it wasn't a penalty. I don't think it was a good idea for the referee to whistle this penalty, because in my opinion, it was just a little penalty and everybody saw it was just the ball hitting the chest and stuff like that. Just an opinion. That might become a suspension of about 4 the 12 games. It's completely insane, you know what I'm saying? And we still don't know what is going to happen, but for sure, I'm pretty sure they are going to blast Carlo Ancelotti for this statement. And I'm not happy at all. And what is going on right now in Spain with the referees, man, is really weird. And we have so many reasons to complain about, but I don't know. It's probably, I don't know, man. I would think at the end, the committee of the referees will sanction to Carlo Ancelotti for, 4 games or something like that. Beyond 4 games, that would be just crazy. And all Los Madridistas would be blown out just because the coach has been suspended for such a crazy amount of games. You know what I'm saying? And it's not any point in that kind of decision. But let's wait a little bit more. Let's see what happens, man. But right now, all Los Madridistas, we are kind of concerned about the punishment Carlo Ancelotti might receive from the referee committee in Spain. And so that is the thing. And let me talk to you about something. In El Chiringuito, Josep Pedrerol has been literally blasting the referees for all these kind of weird decisions, because in reality, nobody knows. The other day with the penalty of Asensio, the referee didn't whistle anything at first. The problem came up when the VAR called to the referee to say, hey, stop here because we have seen something. And something, it was the handball of Marco Asensio. But anyways, I don't want to talk about that anymore, because it is nothing. There's nothing positive in this for Real Madrid. So I just want to let you know Carlo Ancelotti might be suspended for a bunch of games. And that's it. But the next news we have to talk about is the game that we have tomorrow against Celtic de Glasgow, which is in my opinion something more interesting to talk about. And as far as the starting 11, let me tell you, tomorrow we are going to see new faces again. As you know, since the beginning of the season, Carlo Ancelotti has been rotating in different times, players, positions, tactics, all that stuff, just because we need to dosify a little bit the players before the World Cup. I mean, some people right now out there are arguing about the possibility for some players like Karim Benzema trying to save themselves for the World Cup and not giving everything they got for Real Madrid just because they want to outstand, they want to outwork everybody else in the World Cup. I mean, I'm not quite sure about it, and it is very difficult to prove something like that. So to me, I'm gonna try to be very, very careful with all my statements here, because it is very difficult to prove if the players are trying to protect themselves and are not giving whatever they can give and deliver with to Real Madrid just because they want to play a little bit better, or they don't want to get injured right before the World Cup, right? I'm not going to talk about that. It's a very silly controversy. I think I still trust in the seriousness, in the professionality of the players, right? And I don't want to think about any kind of, weird, dirty game by the players for not playing properly with Real Madrid. I don't want to think about that. So let me talk about the possible starting 11 tomorrow against Celtic de Glasgow, because apparently Eder Militao will be back on track, will be back on his feet, because he's now, completely recovered, 100% recovered, and he might be featured in that starting 11. And aside of Eder Militao, we might see potential new faces like Dani Ceballos, Marco Asensio, and Lucas Vázquez in that starting 11. The reason for that is because Dani Ceballos might replace Camavinga, because as you know, Ancelotti is not quite happy with Camavinga, considering the player is not very disciplined when it comes to tactics, right? And the other day, Carlo Ancelotti was pretty clear at that point. Carlo Ancelotti said Camavinga is way better when he comes on the pitch from the bench, right? Not the other way. And so that's why I think that Ceballos might have an opportunity tomorrow against Celtic de Glasgow. Now, that's number one. Marco Asensio, of course, considering Benzema will not be there, Marco Asensio might have another chance to play. And Fede Valverde is kind of like, you don't know exactly what's going on with him, whether is he recovered or not. And then Lucas Vázquez might replace Carvajal. So let's see what happens. But those are the new faces we might see tomorrow in the starting 11 of Real Madrid. And of course, Karim Benzema will not be there, okay? And then let me talk to you about a bunch of stuff, new stuff. The next one is it's a story regarding to Iker Bravo, because apparently Carlo Ancelotti called him the other day to come up and go to the practice with the first team, right? Iker Bravo, as you know, he's been playing with Real Madrid Castilla, with the youngsters since the beginning of the season, but in a couple times, Carlo Ancelotti has decided to make the call and say, hey, Iker, do you come with us to have a practice, because we want to see you here with us and all this stuff. And so many people are starting to speculate the player might be called by Carlo Ancelotti for one match, right? For the squad list of a game, say, for example, Champions League or La Liga, but sooner or later the guy will be called up for the squad for one of these games. I don't know, honestly. I thought at first he might be save the player for later on, maybe for the end of the season or something like that. But considering the guy has been called by Carlo Ancelotti in a couple of times to have a practice with the first team, my opinion is he might be called again by the first squad. To join the squad list with the first team sooner than later. So I think that he has a chance to make his debut with the first team, I don't know, at some point or anytime soon. I don't know when, and I don't want to speculate with that possibility, because that is kind of weird and difficult to guess it out. But yeah, he might play for Real Madrid in the first time. I don't know, but for the first team, I don't know if that is going to happen this year or maybe next year. But it's always a good news to have a player like Iker Bravo playing for us, right, in the first team. only in the practice. He will gain a lot of experience, right, when he's participating in all these kind of practices with the first team, right? But I'm not quite sure if Carlo Ancelotti is still convinced about the chances the player has for making his debut with the first team. But let's see, and we will talk, and we will have a lot of time to talk about that later on, okay? And the last news I have for you all, guys, is yesterday, as you know, Paul Pogba will not be in the squad list for the national team of France for Qatar, because apparently he has to go to the rehab after the knee surgery he's going to have. And I think it's in 1 month or the next week, or I don't know. But right after the surgery, right, Paul Pogba will need to go to rehab in order for him to recover properly the knee, which means his spot will be available for other players. And alongside N'Golo Kanté, who is not coming to the World Cup either, the thing is, a lot of people are talking about the chances for Camavinga and Tchouaméni to be in the squad list are going to the roof right now, because they are playing in very similar positions, and Didier Deschamps might decide to go ahead and say, okay, perfect, now we have the Camavinga and Tchouaméni, so we can call them up and say, hey guys, you can come with us, because we still, I mean, they still have to make the pre-list. I mean, it's not the ultimate list that he will have to deliver to everybody with the I think it's 22 players that he has to pick for the World Cup. This pro list is about 55 players, so they might be there first, right, in the first filter, and then when they go through the first filter, if he is still convinced they can deliver with very good things to the national team of France, I think that Camavinga and Tchouaméni will have a lot of chances to play for France, right? So that'd be awesome. I mean, from a Real Madrid fan perspective, from a Real Madrid fan standpoint, it's not great considering these players will be out of the squad for 1 month, right? Traveling all around and playing different games and stuff like that. So from a fan standpoint, it's not great. From an individual career, from the player perspective, it's great. It's great because they are super young, and there's no best reward for them to be called up by the national team of France to be part of the squad in a World Cup. That will be awesome for them. That will be awesome for Camavinga and Tchouaméni. So I'm happy for them. I'm not super happy for me because, like I said, as a Real Madrid fan, I'm not kind of, grateful for this because we are going to miss a couple of very important players. But from their perspective, it's gotta be great. So let's see what happens. Let's wait a little bit more, because until we have news in this regard, I think that we will have to wait a little bit. But man, other than that, they will be good to go. I think that they're ready, especially Tchouaméni probably. And yeah, I'll keep you posted whatever happens, and see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.